There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.
Hello there, Meteorologist Lisa Green here with an update on our weather. And welcome to this Valley News Now weather update brought to you by 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. So we are going to be talking about this next round. We alluded to it yesterday. We talked about it actually a little bit, that we would see another chance for some snow, another chance for wind, and even we're watching out for a little bit of freezing drizzle for parts of the valley tonight too. So while it won't be the blizzard we had yesterday, we will still have some conditions that are going to be tough for travel at times today around the valley. So we want to get into the details on that coming up here for you this morning. So let's talk about it. First of all, maybe we should highlight something here. It's 6 days till Christmas. Hopefully you've got your shopping done, but if not, we still have one weekend ahead. And again, if you need to do some traveling here for this holiday weekend, we're going to get the details for you, whether it's heading out to the store or heading out well beyond to your holiday destinations. We're going to talk more about that. So it's down to the wire now, looking at Santa coming not too long from now, and let's get into what we can expect to see. So we are looking out for a couple of things here heading into your holiday weekend. So first of all, the system today, we've got more light snow coming our way, and there's going to be more of that's more north, and then more of a mix to the south. And the snow in the south is going to maybe hold off a little longer, or that mix at least hold off a little longer till tonight. We'll break that down. Blowing snow a factor regardless of whether we're getting falling snow, because we're looking at gusts in that 35 to 45 mile per hour range. Not as strong as yesterday, again, but still on the stronger side, enough to create low visibility, to create some drifting across roads. And then the weekend, still looking windy for Saturday. So that may be another concern again for Saturday with some blowing snow, and then just cold all weekend long that you'll want to be prepared for. So that's what we're first alerting you to. You can see the wind starting to get going here as we're looking at our camera down at the Dakota Magic Casino Skycam. The flags aren't straight out, but they're blowing in the wind as we're getting the day going. And then in the northern valley, I want to show you, I'm going to pull this up full screen so you can see it a little bit better. It's kind of hard to see in our view there. There's ice on the road surface there along Highway 5 west of Cavalier, and a lot of the valley is experiencing areas of ice or snow still on the roads from our recent events. So we're already starting off with some areas of icy conditions. A reminder here on our road conditions map, we're looking at anywhere in green being considered seasonal or good travel, normal travel for the season. That doesn't mean it's free and clear of all ice and snow. Just means that things are okay. We're doing better here, but you may still run into an icy or snow patch. And then Northern Valley, we're still seeing areas where we've got patchy snow and ice, or snow or ice covered roads, especially in northeastern North Dakota. There's some places in northwest Minnesota showing that as well. We'll take a quick look, because on North Dakota's map, you can see a little bit better exactly what is covering the road here. We use this map behind me here because the color scheme for Minnesota is a little more simplified, so we match North Dakota so it doesn't look too confusing. But we can get into more detail if we go to our page here, our weather page at valleynewslive.com. So I'm going to pull that up for you, and we'll show you what's going on here really quick. And you can always access this right through our website too on your own browser or through our VNN weather app. So looking at the conditions that are going to be on our road conditions here on our weather page, conditions that are going to be a bit icy here. We're going to go to North Dakota, and you can see where we've got yellow on the map. If I show you our legend here, you can see yellow means ice, compacted snow, or scattered ice. And that's what we are experiencing basically from Devil's Lake to Grand Forks and patchy ice. From southern Grand Forks County to the, well, it looks like just north of Trail County, and then all the way up to the border. I-29 has continuous or patchy ice. Looks like we've got some warnings here, maybe some drifts on the roads. Let's see, snowdrift blocking roadway, that's on Highway 66, and continuous ice as well being reported on that highway. So you can get into a little more detail there. And then heading into Minnesota, we'll take a quick look. We are looking at, again, areas where we've got some either snow or ice in the road, and the way you get more details on that is by hovering over it. You can see US 75 roadway is completely covered with ice and slippery being reported. You can also click on it to get a little more information that way. And of course, we can always check our DOT cams. We'll take a look here. Well, it's not up here. Unfortunately, that's not loading. We'll take a look at a plow cam. Maybe we can get a better view on the plow. So yeah, you can see there's some ice on the roadway from the plow. So again, we are keeping an eye on things on our sky cams. UND at Grand Forks, this was a whiteout yesterday. If you were watching yesterday morning, the only thing we could see in this shot was you see the anemometer spinning there in the foreground, was that weather station. That was it. So conditions have greatly improved in these areas here this morning. We are looking out for reduced visibility again coming our way as we make our way into more parts of the day today. Okay, just checking in to see if we've got any issues on our live stream. Not hearing any reports. We had some issues with volume yesterday, so looks like things are okay. And let's get back to the discussion of this next system. So we're going to pull up our latest alerts. And you can see behind me we've got a couple of alerts going on here. First of all, we'll talk about the cold weather alert. We've got a cold weather advisory. It's in effect until noon still. So we're looking at another... Goodness, what time is it? It is 10 o'clock here. So we're looking at, another 2 hours or so left on this alert. So Grand Forks included, Thief River Falls, up to Roseau, back over to Langdon and Devil's Lake. This is where wind chills have been low. We've been seeing them get as low as the 30s to even near 40 below zero. And that's what that advisory is for. So again, layer up, cover up if you're going to be out in this. And then the other alert also in the Northern Valley is our winter weather advisory that is in effect now until this afternoon and evening. There's a staggered end time to this, but just keep in mind it's for today. And looking at up to 2 inches of snow for a lot of areas. There could be a couple of pockets in the northwest that get a little more than that. We'll show you that in a second. And then gusts to 45 miles per hour. So this is the area where the combination of more steady snow and stronger wind gusts will come together for tougher conditions. That does not mean we'll get away scot-free without being impacted by this in the Southern Valley. Still looking at the possibility for blowing snow outside of the advisory area. So here's a look at our temperatures. We are below zero. It's 3 below in Fargo, 4 below in Grand Forks, still in the teens below zero in Roseau, Baudette, and Bemidji. You can see the 0 degree line here. We're above zero out to the west. There's warmer air moving in ahead of our next system, and it's going to gradually warm us up as the day goes on, but it comes with the wind, and so we're still looking at wind chills in the 30s below north and east. Our lowest wind chill in Baudette right now at 32 below zero. Feels like 22 below in Fargo and 26 below in Grand Forks. So still pretty frigid out there this morning, even though we're talking about a warm up. Well, it's just warm relative to where we're starting. So the wind isn't bad yet. We're looking at wind into the teens, so starting to pick up from the calm reports, the single-digit wind speeds we had earlier this morning, and some of us are still there in the east. Devil's Lake, there is a gust to 29, Minot gusting to 31 right now, so we're going to see more of those gusts as this system comes through. And taking a look at our radar, here comes the snow. So it's been moving eastward. I've been looking at our cameras to see if we're getting any reports of this reaching the ground yet. And I haven't gotten too many here. So we're going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to let this roll through. I'm going to take this full screen so you can get a better view of it. Anywhere where you see the dark blues, so that would be areas around Devil's Lake, stretching down toward the Carrington, New Rockford area. This line here, there's a couple of pockets of darker blue, back over toward Maddock, and then just west of our viewing area, it looks like some heavier snow over by Linton. That's where I would expect to see our lowest visibility, our reports coming in of some snow coming down. And I'm seeing reports of snow in Devil's Lake, a couple of reports there. And just checking to see more places if we've got more reports coming in. And Mandan, some light precipitation, unknown precip in Mandan. That's the sensor, not being able to discern whether it's seeing freezing rain or snow or something in between. And here closer to the valley, as we watch that snow move in, on the radar here, I'm just looking for more reports again. Got some light snow in Devil's Lake and some snow in Crookston. That doesn't seem right. So we'll take a closer view here. Wonder if there's an issue with the sensor in Crookston right now. I'm going to just pull up some of those sky cams I was just looking at here really quick. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything going on there. And it's not showing up on the radar either. There must be an issue with the sensor in Crookston. But anyway, I was just checking to see, making sure that I'm not missing anything here as far as a snowfall coming down. The Bismarck area looks like seeing some flakes, but it especially, let's see, I'm seeing some either blowing snow or snow in the Denhoff area. And we'll go back to, let's see, the Jamestown Valley City area. Not seeing a lot of cameras showing much on our DOT map. Looks like Devil's Lake. Yes, we're looking at some cams. I'll pull that up for you guys. So this is again through the North Dakota DOT site. You can see we've got some what looks like maybe a little blowing snow across the roadway, reduced visibility in the distance as folks are trying to drive through it. And that is again in the Devil's Lake area, west along Highway 2, mile marker 271. And there's some drifting here over by Rugby. It looks like Jamestown's looking okay. Langdon has some ice on the road. That's definitely been an issue. And a little bit of drifting around New Rockford as well. So that does match up with what we're seeing. Yes, I can see some drifting and some reduced visibility with some snow coming down in New Rockford. So that looks like we're really getting into some low visibility coming up for that area. And I'm going to pull up our radar again in that area, New Rockford. You can see Carrington, New Rockford here. Let me just switch my commands here. We'll zoom in a little bit more. And we did just see a band move in through that area. See that deeper blue that I was talking about? There's New Rockford right there, so that band just went through. So that's likely what that sky cam, that DOT cam is showing right now in that area. So we'll remove that. There we go, and zoom back out. And again, just keeping an eye on this system. One area I'm watching closely is over to the south, the southern stretch here of the system. You can see the purple there. There may be a little bit of melting going on, confusing the radar into thinking that's heavy snow, and maybe it's more likely some freezing rain or some melting happening that's more reflective to the radar. And you know what? I can look at that camera down in that area here. Why not? Let's, just so we know, just so we have a good assessment, a good reading of what we're seeing here. Okay, I'm seeing not much for snow coming down on these cameras that are right in that area. So there may be a little bit of freezing drizzle going on. Okay, so continuing to keep an eye on the radar as this area of snow and what may be also some mixed precipitation moves in. And we'll zoom out a little bit more and just show you the whole size of this system. You can see the snow reaches all the way up into Manitoba, well into Manitoba, and then down into South Dakota, a little bit of a mix over to some freezing rain or some sleet or mixed precipitation going on. So let's talk about what to expect through the course of the day today. We're watching that snow move in from west to east. And you can see as we go through time this morning, we're watching our snow shower potential continue for Fargo with temperatures on the rise. We get into the teens this afternoon, about 15 degrees around the time we typically see our warmest temperature of the day. But you can see we'll be at 18 degrees by 8 p.m. Our temperatures are actually going to continue to go up as warmer air continues to pump into the valley with the wind. That's going to be a factor. Now this is just Fargo. It's going to look different depending on where you are, if you're in the Northern Valley especially. And so just a quick look at our afternoon planner. Temperatures again, teens to some 20s by late afternoon. We'll be dealing with ongoing snow, especially especially in the north, and the wind as well being a factor for us. So let's time it out. So this morning we've been watching the snow move in. It continues to travel eastward, bringing us a chance for some scattered snow showers to isolated snow showers in the south, and then a more steady round of snow in the northern valley through the afternoon. This is 2 p.m. where I paused the clock. Wind is increasing. We're getting those gusts into the 30s. And temperatures on the rise as well during this time, though it won't feel very warm when we factor in the wind. And then moving on into the afternoon, again, this is 4 p.m., single digits above northeast to about 20 above southwest. You can see how warm it is over by Bismarck and Minot. And wind is gusting to near or above 40 miles per hour for areas. And we're getting the snow still coming down, but it's more over to the east. Keep in mind, even though the snow is done in some areas, we're dealing with fresh snow from yesterday and from today on the ground that's still getting picked up and blown around in these areas. Now heading into the 8 o'clock hour tonight, that first round moves on, and then you can see this area of pink on the map right along the Dakota line, the Dakota's border here. And you can see that we've got pink, we've got a little green out to the west, some blue. So there's the potential for some mixed precipitation as our temperatures go up. That we're looking at the possibility for some freezing rain. So perhaps aloft it's warm enough for liquid precip, and as it comes down it's freezing and freezing to the ground and cold surfaces. So this is something we're going to be watching closely to see if there ends up being a glaze of ice in this area. For anybody traveling and hitting the road, that would be a big hazard for the Sisseton Hills down by along the North Dakota, South Dakota state line, west central Minnesota, and a little bit up into southern parts of North Dakota as well. We could have a few flakes around Fargo at that point in time too. So again, looking like an interesting setup with this system. In addition to that, moving on, we'll still have the wind, and I think into Saturday we'll continue to see this wind hanging around. There might be a time where it eases up a little bit before it picks back up again on Saturday, but by Saturday morning you can see the precip at least is done. Okay, so let's talk about snowfall potential. We're looking at a lot of areas kind of in this transparent light blue color. This is up to about 1 inch of snow, so a lot of spots not getting a whole lot, just a dusting to 1 inch. But there may be some areas in the north that get in at 1 to 2 or maybe even 3 inches of snow in our viewing area here up toward Devil's Lake. That's the best bet for seeing that 3+ range if we see it. But you know, enough to cause some issues for visibility and to add more snow to the mix for blowing snow potential. And then, of course, the ice potential I've been talking about as well as we head into tonight. We're looking at that freezing rain possible in the south. That is going to be kind of basically right along the North Dakota, South Dakota line, back into west central Minnesota. Some models have it a little farther north, some a little farther south, but this is kind of middle of the road here right now. So anyone in the Southern Valley will have to keep in mind that that's a possibility tonight. And check road conditions, check back with us before you hit the road here in those areas. I know lots of people trying to get to your holiday destinations for this weekend and beyond into next week. So we've got to be careful and make sure we know what's up. So wind, I'm going to get back to the wind here now. We're looking at our wind gust planner. So these numbers are in miles per hour. So we're looking at gusts in the 30s to some 40s as we head into midday. Our strongest gusts are going to be more likely northeastern North Dakota as this low is passing by north of us. So it's going to be closer to the low that we see that stronger wind field, but even into the Southern Valley, gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. This is 5 p.m. You can see some 40s still on the map. Grand Forks, the Thief River Falls area potentially, up through Crookston. And then even into this evening, it's still breezy. We're still seeing areas of blowing and drifting snow. And then continuing on into Saturday, I'm going to zip ahead into Saturday morning because we're still dealing with the wind on Saturday. You can see we've got gusts 30s to around 40 miles per hour Saturday morning. We continue into the afternoon, and it may even get a little stronger into the afternoon in places in the south, the Southern Valley, 40 to 45 mile per hour gusts potentially. So that's again enough to cause some blowing and drifting if there's available snow, because we're not looking at falling snow at that point. It's whether there's snow that's light and loftable here, if that's a word, for those places that are getting the stronger winds. So that's something to keep in mind. Especially if we get a coating of ice, a glaze of ice, that might help to form a crust over the snowpack. But still, it's something, again, to keep an eye out for. So let's talk about travel. I know a lot of people are hitting the road coming up here for the weekend. We've got our own concerns about travel delays here in the valley with our system. There's going to be some heavy snow in the northern Rockies and back over into the Cascades. And once again, unfortunately, the Pacific Northwest is looking out for heavy rain. Our system will continue moving eastward into the Great Lakes. And yesterday's blizzard is currently impacting places in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic right now. And as we take a look closer, again, more, and you can see the levels here, more moderate impacts in the Northern Valley to impacts in the Southern Valley as well that are minor to moderate. So again, blowing and drifting is going to be our biggest concern. One thing that's not being taken into account in this travel delays map is that chance for some freezing drizzle into tonight, because this is for this afternoon. So tonight it could get tougher in parts of the southern end of the valley. I want to look ahead to tomorrow morning. This is Saturday morning. We're all going to see potential delays or travel impacts because of the blowing snow factor. So we're looking at minor to even a couple of pockets of moderate, meaning that, you know, we might be running into some hazardous conditions at times on the roads with reduced visibility. So, you know, not perfect is the bottom line here for us here in the valley and beyond. Again, our system's moving east, so we'll see that chance for snow more over the Great Lakes by tomorrow morning. Could impact air travel into some of those locations. And looking at, again, more snow, more impacts into the Pacific Northwest. Here's a look at the radar right now. There's that system. We've even had some strong storms with that one for a time. And there's rain, there's snow, there's a lot of wind with that too that they're experiencing on the East Coast. And some lake effect snow along the Great Lakes. And then more moisture, as we were talking about, over toward the west. So hopefully you're able to make it to your destination safely here, and you don't have too many delays as we head into the holiday weekend. Here's a look at the weekend planner. Again, tomorrow, watching out for more snow. We have not snow. We're looking out for more wind. I've been saying those two words, wind and snow, a lot this week, and tomorrow is going to be more wind. It's going to be colder, temperatures in the single digits, and breezy throughout the day with that potential for some blowing snow. For Sunday, we're looking at temperatures that are slightly milder, but not that warm again. And Sunday, by the way, is the winter solstice. So I thought I'd talk about it here for you for a moment. Again, a reminder, the solstice in Latin, it means sol means sun, and then the second half, stis, means stop. So the sun stops its advancement southward in the sky, and then it starts to come back a little bit higher in the sky. From our vantage point, what's happening here is that the Earth is tilted away from the sun. The northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun at its farthest point in the winter solstice. So we get less daylight again in wintertime because of that. And then as the Earth revolves around the sun, again, beyond this point, we start gaining daylight because the northern hemisphere becomes more tilted toward the sun at that point until we get to the summer solstice. So what are we doing here? We're gaining daylight after Sunday, which I think is the number one thing to take away from all of this, is that we'll start to see our daylight come back. So for Sunday, the solstice officially happens at 9:03 in the morning on December 21st. And at that point, we'll officially have 8 hours, 31 minutes, and 30 seconds of daylight in Fargo. This is specific to Fargo. It's different depending on which latitude you are at. And this is, from that point on, we'll start gaining daylight, and we'll start adding daylight to our days. So something to look forward to, especially given we've had winter hit so hard, so fast here in the month of December, and even toward the end of November, if you remember that. So looking at our extended planner here today, I have a high of 24 here, but that's for the calendar day. Daytime hours, we're looking at some teens. But once we get into the evening, I was mentioning our temperatures are going up. So we'll see our temperatures get into the mid-20s before midnight tonight, and then they're dropping again once the system moves on. It's just the way the timing of the system works out and the wind that's moving in. And again, it's going to be on the windy side today with snow. And then we're looking at Saturday, no snow, but still dealing with some wind. And so some blowing snow factors for Saturday with temperatures kind of slipping through the day. So afternoon into the single digits. We drop below zero overnight into Sunday morning, so a chilly Sunday morning on that winter solstice. But we start to recover getting into the teens. And then looking ahead into Christmas week, you can see that we are warming up. We're looking at some numbers getting into one day here in the teens on Tuesday, but we're really getting back into some 20s for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, a high of about 28 degrees. That looks really nice. What I love about that is I think it's something nice for everybody. Temperatures are more tolerable to be outside in, but we're staying below freezing, which means we get to keep around the snow for a white Christmas for folks who want that. And right now it looks relatively quiet. Next week there will be a couple of shots of snow possible, but right now it looks like light amounts, no big organized systems. Still something to keep an eye out for when you do travel next week. Check back with us, check the VNN weather app to see if anything's popped up or anything coming your way heading into the coming days for your holiday week next week. So looking pretty good here as we're getting into the forecast. I'm going to pull up the 11 days so you can see it in full. And while I'm doing that, I'll take a look and see if we've gotten any questions from you about what we are looking at here, as we've been talking about our next system impacting us here in the valley yet again, with those winds increasing and increasing chances for snow as the morning goes on. So we'll pull up our Facebook post with our live here. Just got a couple of comments. Just some people saying good morning everybody, and some commentary about ice fishermen wanting it to be cold to be able to get our ice houses out on the lake and get out there and do some more ice fishing here. That's the other side of things. A lot of folks like the cold weather to get out and do, winter activities and get out in the snow and out on the ice as well. So temperatures, through the rest of this week and next, basically staying below freezing during that time. So that's good news for you. After we had such a surge of warmth here this week, we can get back to building ice and keeping that snow around as well. So conditions are going to be on the decent side once we get through today and tomorrow, but just a reminder, we are still dealing with some areas of wind and even some snow and freezing rain for today. So I'm going to continue to watch that for you. Of course, we've got our afternoon and evening crew coming in that will be keeping you up to date as well. Summer and Russ will both be in. And you can always check back again with the VNN weather app for the latest as we are working our way through yet again another round of winter weather here in the valley. So have a safe and happy weekend, and we'll see you again here on Monday. This has been your weather update brought to you by 1-800 Damage of North Dakota.
There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.